hello, and welcome back to another amazing episode on Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. And today I have two beautiful guests, Rustin and Amber, and they call themselves the Power Couple. So, welcome, guys.
Hi, so nice to be here with you. Hello.
Hello, welcome, guys. So, please tell us a little bit about yourself. Not too much because I do have lots of questions. So, want to spread this a little bit, but tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you guys have some beautiful kids, so tell us about that, and then we'll go from there.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Rustin Van Auken. I am one half of the power couple. And we we have so much stuff to offer you right now. I'm trying to think in my head, like, what do I start with? We'll start with the kids. We have three amazing kids that keep us extremely busy. And we actually find enjoyment in creating a lot of those experiences and things that, we didn't really see as kids ourselves because we were not intentional with, it just wasn't an awareness thing, growing up from our parents. So we are very heavy into doing that with our kids and teaching them manifestation techniques and visualization techniques and stuff like that. And yeah, they take to it like fish on water. They actually visualize like every night before they go to bed. It's really cool. Yeah,
That's
we do
awesome.
a lot. Yeah, we do a lot of meditation and stuff like that. And our 4-year-old goes, "I want to meditate right now, mommy. I want to meditate, daddy." And I'm like, "So cool. Let's go." I am former military. Just a little bit about me, myself. I am former military, a Marine, and using some of those things that were taught to me by the United States government to be able to visualize and have perseverance through anything have helped me quite a bit in the spiritual space. It was a difficult shift at first, but now it's like yeah, I wouldn't want to get rid of that because that gives me a really good awareness of certain aspects of life. So, yeah, yeah, that's
Awesome.
me. Go
Thank
ahead, Mama.
you.
You're
What
welcome.
about you, Amber?
My name is Amber Van Auken. So I personally have three children. Rustin together we have two, but he considers my daughter
Yeah,
as, one
bonus
of his.
kid.
But my daughter is almost 21, and then our oldest son is almost 11, and then our youngest is 4, almost 5,
Oh, wow.
slash almost 20. But
Fast forward.
Yeah, exactly. So I was a young mom, and there's a lot of feelings and emotions around that I've gotten to overcome. I was a single mom for a good 8 to 10 years before I met Rustin. Um, Now, I am on this journey with him. We own a business together, and I'm helping him with that, as well as I'm in the process of writing a book. It's been a long time coming, but I feel like I should share things I that have happened to me in my life. I was diagnosed with 3 different mental health diagnoses, and I lived with that for about 23 years on meds and all that. And since for about the past year and a half, I've been able to get rid of those labels. I do not take any medication, and I no longer identify with any of those diagnoses. So I really feel like this is something huge for people because I know that when you get into that, you feel like it's there forever, right? Like you're never going to overcome it. You can never get rid of it. So for me, that's huge. And I think this could be huge for other people. So I'm in the process of writing my book and my daily thoughts and things that I have been through with that. Um, but yeah, just seeing things differently from a whole different view, seeing possibility, and that's what has totally changed my life. Um, so we're just on this new journey together and shifting it for our kids as well. We're showing them what we're doing, and then we're also implementing things at their age level to understand. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Those
amazing. And see, you guys are thriving and making an amazing life for yourself right now. So that's such a beautiful transformation just right there. So I can't wait to hear more about your journey. So Amber and Rustin, we actually met on a Zoom through another a beautiful lady, Nicole, because we all took Millionaire Program with Kathleen Cameron. So what inspired you to take that program with Kathleen? Because I know there's a lot here. So what inspired you to take that program?
What's interesting about that is that I was introduced to Kathleen first. A friend of mine had shared her YouTube video. And when you talk about intuition, it was 100% intuition. So I'm going to be honest. If a friend of mine sends me a 2-hour video, more than likely, unless they made it, I'm probably not going to watch it, right? Because there's like so many, right? Like you're like, oh, great suggestion. I love it. I'll kind of turn on for a minute or whatever. For some reason, something in me was like, watch this, like watch this video. And it was a live event. She had, I think, like a 3-day live event. And so I listened to the first one. I was on my way to work at the time. I was working. And I resonated so completely, like it wasn't even funny. And then I shared it with him. And we had been into this kind of material before. I was real heavily into Dr. Joe Dispenza, listening to doing his meditations. I love Wayne Dyer, those kind of people. And for some reason, like it just hit me. And I was like, oh my gosh, like she was a normal person. She was a nurse. She was a mom, like all these thoughts that I was having. Um, and so I had him listen. And then the subject came up about her program. I found it somehow. And I was like, I have to be in this program. Like I just have to. And so reached out to one of her mentors, and she was like, okay, well, this is the amount. And I was like, well, financially, we don't have that. And she's like, well, maybe you can do like this program down here. You pay per month, it's for a year. And I was like, nope. And I remember emailing her back. I was literally sitting on my knees on my floor crying because I was like, no, like this is the program I was meant to be in. And she's like, okay, make it happen. And I looked at him and I was like, how's this even gonna work? And the next day he's like, well, I've been talking to my mentor. And I said, what do you mean your mentor? Like you barely even watched this video. You didn't comment about it. You didn't say, like even bring up that you wanted to be a part of it or anything. And all of a sudden he made it happen and he paid for both of us to be in the program. And I was like, okay, I guess because that subject hadn't even like the thought of us doing it together actually hadn't even come up in my mind. And then I thought, what better but to do this, like be on this journey together with your spouse. Like that's the ultimate, right? Because then now we're living this material together. So it was super funny how it came about because people think that like it was like an original idea and we went into it, holding hands, and it wasn't exactly like that.
She manifested me
Yeah.
paying for all of it in full.
Yeah.
In full.
Wow.
Because she on Kathleen's video, on that it was Dumb Money was
Yeah.
the live.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Remember that one? And she
Yeah.
said, I'm a paying full woman. And I was driving to work when she said that at a corporate job, and I was like, I'm a freaking paying full man.
Yep.
Let's go.
I
And
love
so
that.
I reached out, and within 48 hours, 48 hours? No, it was because it was on a Friday. That next Monday, I had the money in my account and I was buying it. And she was just like, you got to be kidding me. And they helped us out by letting us both be in the space.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, I absolutely love that. Ease and flow, as she says, right? I love Kathleen. I was privileged to meet her 3 times in person. So and Amber, you met her in Toronto, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So such an amazing woman. I love her lectures and videos and everything. She really changed my world as well. I think it started like 3 years ago. I started listening to Bob Proctor videos, but then she came on one of them, and I'm like, who's this woman? Like, I don't know. She was just like a magnet, but it was like, so I always tell people she swept me off my feet,
Yep. Yep.
because her energy was so different, so uplifting, and like you said, like she spoke my language because it was easy to understand, reliable, and yeah, just so much. So I absolutely love her programs, and one of them is Millionaire. And yeah, I think this is the third time I'm going through that program because I finally understand it in a different awareness. And yeah, I'll probably keep doing it, refreshing my mind because we have to. Like stay focused and keep learning, right? So tell me, what would be the biggest takeaway from taking this program that has helped you to run your business now? And tell us a little bit about your business now.
Okay. Yeah. So I myself and Amber, well, I originally started a digital marketing business when I was doing my corporate job in automation through a glass manufacturer, and I just absolutely loved digital marketing. I loved the fact that I could reach so many people through digital marketing and be able to help others reach the people that really do want and need their services. So I got involved in that passion, and then going through Millionaire and thinking to myself, like, one of the biggest takeaways for that though is the belief that I and our business is actually impacting millions of people, right? That belief system is extremely important in business because it comes through as when you're talking to somebody or you're building something for them, or they're taking a course with you, or any of that stuff that businesses do. That conviction comes through, that whether or not you believe in it, down to to your core being. And I took that away from it and I ran with it. Everything I do is in spirit, right? Inspired in spirit is kind of how it was taught. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get in spirit with everything I do. And that is, part of the digital marketing. Abundant intentional marketing was actually born from that being in spirit. So we call it AIM for short. A lot of people call it AIM for short, and it only deals with we only do services for coaches and consultants in the mindset and personal development space, and that is because we resonate with them so well. Our languages are exactly the same, and everything that we do is about the impact for them. I generally speak to the business owners themselves, and when we talk, a lot of times, sometimes they won't be in the space at that time to actually grasp a hold of the service and actually sign up. But we make this connection, and they call me and they text me and they're like, hey, I was just wondering if give your 2 cents about this, because we resonate on a spiritual level, right?
Mhm.
And marketing with spirit is our motto. So we do everything in that spirit. So yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, all the information will be dropped in the video below to reach out to Amber and Ruskin about their business. So, we'll post that in there. Don't worry about that. But tell us, how has working together as a couple, because you're my first couple on the show that runs a business together, how has impacted that your relationship, both personally and professionally?
uh, I'm laughing because it goes both ways, right? So you have this amazing feeling about working with your beautiful, spouse, your beautiful partner, and then we get frustrated at each other about certain aspects of the business because she runs, the social media side of it, I run the advertising side of it, and it's back and forth. But we always come together. It's you have these two halves that make a like a perfect whole. And when we are in that spirit, which we are when we do our, do most of our business, it's ease and flow, just like you said. I mean, it just comes out, and there's no real thought behind it. The hearts just match up, the intention is there, and it just becomes like this beautiful symphony. That business can be when you do work in spirit. And I'm not used to having other people in my space, because I mean, even in corporate, I was pretty much by myself doing automated things. So in this space now, when I have, somebody at a desk right behind mine, and, she whirls around and taps me on the shoulder and says, "What do you think about this?" And I'm like, head into this. And I'm like, well, what do you think about that? And then it's like this conversation back and forth that, really turns into something beautiful in the end, even though sometimes I can get annoyed by it. But to be fair, uh, because I think of her as a CEO and making those decisions is important. She's 100% taking the reins and has, she could actually probably run her own business by herself now. So, but yeah, as far as our relationship, Mama, how's that helped our relationship?
Well, I'm very grateful that we, were able to join the program together because everything has come up obviously in our relationship as well as, personal, or I mean, professional. We sometimes, and I know you're familiar with this, sometimes you can see an awareness in somebody else before they can, right? So there's certain things, because obviously we're all working on ourselves, right? Nobody's perfect. And so there's moments where one of us can see a limiting belief or an awareness that the other one can't. I mean, at that moment, right? So then we're able to recognize that instead of like, oh man, you're just being a jerk. It's like, hey, like what's going on there? Like what are you thinking about? What's the thought behind whatever is happening, and vice versa. And then maybe not right at that moment, right? But then we get to sit with that, like, okay, what's like going on? Like why, frustration behind social media, right? I'm sure we can all understand that. Right. And so he'll come to me like, okay, what are you thinking right now? What's going on with that? Like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, so this is why, right? And then I can change it and vice versa. So it's actually been extremely helpful. And it's helped us personally because, in the past, I mean, I'd say even a year ago, there was like talk of divorce, right? Like it was very real. Um, and now it's totally different. It's like, okay, let's stop for a moment, right? Like we all have moments, and it's like, okay, maybe you want to sit down and journal about this, what's going on, XYZ. So it's definitely helped us in both personal and professional because we are a lot more kinder to each other in that sense, right? And then also just bringing it up like, hey, I see what happened there. Do you want to like talk about it? Do you want to journal about it? Do you want to think, And so it's really helped like a lot. And obviously and then it trickles down to our kids. So
What would you love
yeah,
is our
motto.
catchphrase
Yeah.
around the house in
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. What would you
I
love
was
to
gonna ask you, what is the one key thing you would tell your anybody as a couple that are trying to run the business? You just answered my question. It's like you knew, but it's interesting to hear that because even in the past, I would hear a lot of couples break up because when they start a business together, they're just not able to work together because they start to reacting instead of responding to certain things. So I love how you guys were able to figure these things out with proper tools, journaling, meditation and all these things. So I love that. So anybody who's listening there and they're working together with somebody, these guys are perfect to get in touch with if you're going through some struggles where it's like, that tension's starting to build up. These guys are the people you want to reach out to in case you have that. And of course, if you're looking for business, how to strengthen your business, there you go. Amber and Rustin can help you with that. So I absolutely love that. So what was that phrase again? Tell everybody.
What would
What
you
would you
love?
love?
What would you love? And is that what you tell your kids as well? Like when they're going through some struggles? Can you elaborate more on that? Like what else do you teach your kids? Because it's really important. Like I have my 5-year-old and every day we practice, for example, gratitude. And I say, sweetie, what are you grateful for? And you know how kids are, they give you one short answer and then I tend to go in deeper and said, you're grateful for example, grandma, but why? So I
Yeah.
evoke that feeling. How does grandma make you feel? What else can you do? So I make her go in deeper and deeper every time. So at least that's one technique I use with her, and of course many others. But what about your guys? Your kids? What else do you inspire them with? You touched a little bit, but I want to hear more for our audience.
I love that you do that, by the way. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
We have been doing for quite some time, for quite, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe 6 or so years. So because we're not, of religious nature, but so when we sit down for dinner each night as a family, we say our thanks is what we call it. We say our thanks, right? Obviously in our head. So when my our oldest son was younger, we would kind of just say like, he would say, I'm thankful for everything and everyone, right? A blanketed statement because he was young, so he didn't understand, right? And now as they've gotten older, and we still do this, um, and we've told him, I was like, okay, you're almost 11 now, like start thinking of specific things, right? Because it's great, as kind of a whole, but I was like, let's think of actual things that we're thankful for, right? And like get detailed. And then for our 4-year-old, we also implement each night we do affirmations. So the four of us will go through, and sometimes we'll start just so they can kind of, get the ball rolling. And so we do that, like what's something, a positive affirmation. It could be about yourself. I'm a money magnet, I am smart, I'm beautiful, I'm handsome, whatever it may be. Um, we do meditations with them. And we also um, I've noticed that our 4-year-old looks a lot to other people to affirm, things within himself. So, for instance, he just got a really cool mohawk haircut this weekend, right? And he was like, "Do you like my haircut?" And so I've noticed these things, right? Looking to other people. And so in my head, I'm like, oof, right? But now what I've started doing is, so we had it all spiky, right? And it was all cool. And I said, man, I was like, that's an amazing haircut. And then I said, in my head, I go, wait a minute. And I said, what do you think about your haircut though? And he goes, oh, I like it. I said, okay, because mommy will always love everything you do, be always proud of you. But I said, are you proud of yourself, right? Do you love yourself? Right? Because that is the most important relationship versus what I'm going to think or your dad or anybody else. So, those are other things. We start asking like, well, a Lego figure, for instance, they'll make, oh, would you like my figure? And I'll start saying, what do you think of it first?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, do you like it? Yeah. Okay, well, I like it too. But it's, just reiterating that it's about the relationship that you have in your head versus what other people are gonna say to you.
Creating the awareness is key
Mm-hmm.
in our family, and we also do we do a weekly get together with our family, and we do a weekly breakfast. And when we're sitting down and we're eating that weekly breakfast in the morning, we go around the table. Each person says and notices something that has been that they're proud of the other person for. So we're fostering that awareness, not just in themselves, but in other people
Mm-hmm.
to, keep themselves aligned with spirit. And more often than not, that they will literally go around to each person and they will notice something that they did during the week and they're very proud of them for it. And when they come back around to themselves, they actually tell themselves like, "Hey, I'm very proud of myself for doing this." And it's pretty powerful when you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Wow. And I love that because not only are you guys, realigning yourself, Amber, you went through so much in your youth. Rustin is coming from a different background, and you were able to, step into a new awareness. But not only you helped yourself, but now you're leaving a legacy for your kids, and you're teaching them how to move forward so they can now teach their kids, one day. So I love how you being a ripple effect as parents and, impacting, all the lives around you, not just yourself. So tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, where people can find you. Do you offer anything for free at the moment? And what is your big goal for the future?
Not a problem. So Abundant Intentional Marketing is the business. You can find us at www.wegivtheaim.com. If you look at it now, it will be changing shortly by the end of the month to a new rebranding with different colors and logos and stuff like that. But the content is pretty much the same. The offer that we have right now, it is not free, but I mean, for us, it's pretty big deal because it does cost quite a bit of money to run advertisements. And you just pay for the week of advertising ad spend. And for $500, you will get an entire awareness campaign, which is 14 ad sets ran over a 7-day period. And it's really, really powerful for businesses. People see you twice a day for 7 days, and they get to know you, they get to trust you. You'll also get a landing page and an automated nurturing sequence with that $500 as well. And if at the end of the 7 days, you notice the results that you were looking for that impact your vision, then we can go ahead and sign up for a larger package. And yeah, that's pretty much it about the business. And you could also visit us at the Power Couple 111, or is it Manifesting with the Power Couple is the YouTube channel. And we give away a lot of these tips and tricks for family living. We're implementing doing a live every Sunday called Breakfast with the Power Couple.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, where we go, we actually bring you into our house. You can see us cooking at the time. Actually, it's pretty funny. And we have, we have fun while we're doing it. And we're also the last one that the first one that we just did is we did the power of awareness and how to actually implement that into your life and into your family. And just kind of tips to get through your life and bring it into your family space as well, to impact make that ripple effect like you talked about
Wow.
within the family.
That's amazing. I truly love that. We will once again post all the links in this video so you can subscribe and follow them. And lastly, reflecting on the name of this podcast, Rise and Thrive, Mornings with Intention. How do you incorporate intention into your daily lives, and what advice can you offer to our listeners at this time?
It's really good. That's a really good question. Intention is, for me, the vision that you are holding in your mind for the day that keeps you aligned with your intended outcome, what you choose the outcome to be, right? And at least for me, I'm very big on visualization. So I visualize every morning what the end of my day looks like, the feeling of gratitude for everything that has gone on, all of the people that I have talked to, leaving their lives with increase, and wins in the business, signing on a new client, or just making a new friend in the business space, or learning something new. I have 3 of them that I go through, and I rotate through them through those end scenes for the day, and each day they look a little bit different depending on how spirit guides me. Also, there's journaling, and the gratitude is huge. It is the building block of everything that we're talking about with the intention, to be fair, at least for me. I don't know. What about you, Mama?
I do some breath work in the morning, before I get out of bed. I just put my earbuds in and I do some breath work, and then I'll come out and I'll journal, and then I do a little bit of reading, something that's empowering. And I also sit in my awareness. So a lot of times I'll go outside and I'll just sit there for 5 minutes, and no music, no book, no nothing, just sitting there and focusing on my awareness. And that's really helped to, well, set the intention for the day, right? Because now you're going into it with a positive aspect versus I'm checking my email, I'm on social media, I'm XYZ, right? Because then that's the intention for the day, right? You're kind of starting into that. So it's really getting into spirit and getting into a really good place in your mind. And then that's what you go forth with for the day. So
Wow. I absolutely love that. And speaking of gratitude, our next guest on one of the following podcasts will be actually talking about gratitude. That's going to be the main theme. So I hear it more and more often on each podcast, gratitude is definitely the moving power here. So, guys, thank you so much for being on my podcast. I absolutely love this, and I wish you guys all the best in your business and everything else in life. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. So, thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming on. It's been absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank
thanks,
you,
Eva.
Eva.
Thanks, guys. Take care.